This is General George Patton's speech to the Third Army before the invasion of Normandy. Be seated. Men, all the stuff you hear about America not wanting to fight, wanting to stay out of the war, is a lot of bull. Americans love to fight. All real Americans love the sting and clash of battle. When you were kids, you all admired the champion marble shooter, the fastest runner, the big league ball player, and the toughest boxers. Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. That's why Americans have never lost a war and will never lose a war. The very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. Battle is the most significant competition in which a man can indulge. It brings out all that is best and removes all that is base. You are not going to die. Only 2% of you right here today will be killed in a major battle. Every man is scared in his first action. If he says not, he's a dang liar. But the real hero is the man who fights even though he's scared. Some men will get over their fright in a minute. Some take an hour. And for some it takes days. But the real man never lets his fear of death overpower his honor, his sense of duty to his country, and his innate manhood. All through your Army career, you have bitched, you have complained about what you call drilling. That is all for a purpose, to ensure instant obedience to orders and to create constant alertness. This must be bred into every soldier. I don't care for a man who is not always on his toes, but the drilling has made veterans of all you men. You are ready. A man has to be alert all the time, if he expects to keep on breathing. If not, some German son of a gun will sneak up behind him and beat him to death with a sock full of junk. There are 400 neatly marked graves in Sicily, all because one man went to sleep on the job. But they are German graves, because we caught the bastard asleep before his officer did. An army is a team. It lives, eats, sleeps, and fights as a team. This individual hero stuff is bull. The bilious bastards who write the stuff for the Saturday Evening Post don't know any more about real battle than they do about fornicating. And we have the best team. We have the finest food and equipment, the best spirit, and the best men in the world. Why, by God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. All the real heroes are not storybook combat fighters. Every single man in the Army plays a vital role. So don't ever let that up. Don't ever think that your job is unimportant. What if every truck driver decided that he didn't like the whine of the shells and turned yellow and jumped headlong into a ditch? That cowardly bastard could say to himself, hell, they won't miss me, just one man in thousands. What if every man said that? Where in the hell would we be then? No, thank God, Americans don't say that. Every man does his job. Every man is important. The ordnance men are needed to supply the guns. The quartermaster is needed to bring up the food and clothes for us because where we're going there isn't a hell of a lot to steal. Every last man in the mess is important. Each man must think not only of himself, but think of his buddy fighting alongside him. We don't want yellow cowards in the Army. They should be killed off like flies. If not, they will go back after the war cowards and breed more cowards. The brave men will breed more brave men. Kill off the cowards and we'll have a nation of brave men. One of the bravest men I saw in the African campaign was on a telegraph pole in the midst of a furious fire while we were moving toward Tunis. I stopped and asked him what the hell he was doing up there. He answered, "Fixing the wire, sir." "Isn't it a little healthy up there right now?" I asked. "Yes, sir, but this goddamn wire has to be fixed." "Don't those planes strafing the road bother you?" And he answered, "No, sir, but you sure as hell do." Now that was a real soldier, a real man. A man who devoted all he had to his duty, no matter how great the odds, no matter how seemingly insignificant his duty appeared at the time. And you should have seen the trucks on the road to Gabiz. Those drivers were magnificent. All day, all night, they crawled along those son-of-a-gun roads, never stopping, never deviating from the course while shells bursting all around them. Many of the men drove over 40 consecutive hours. We got through on good old American guts. These were not combat men. These were soldiers with a job to do. They were part of the team, and without them the fight would have been lost. Sure, we all want to go home. We all want to get this war over with. But you can't win a war lying down. The quickest way to get over it is to get the bastards who started it. We wanted to get the hell out over there and clean the thing up. The quicker they're whipped, the quicker we go home. The shortest way home is through Berlin and Tokyo, so keep moving. And when we get to Berlin, I am personally going to shoot that paper-hanging son of a gun, Hitler. There's one thing you men will be able to say when this war is over and you get back home. 30 years from now, when you're sitting on your fireside with your grandson on your knee and he asks, "What did you do in the Great World War II?" You won't have to cough and say, "Well, your granddaddy shoveled crap in Louisiana." No, sir, you can look him straight in the eye and say, "Son, your granddaddy rode with the Great Third Army and a son of a gun named George Patton." Alright, you know how I feel. I'm proud to lead you wonderful guys into battle anytime, anywhere. That's all. Be seated.